Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I have another Frugal Friday tip for you, and this is making some affordable pottery and ceramic supplies at home. I thought this would be really handy because I've recently taken up ceramics, and I thought this might be nice if you are looking to do some ceramics at home. Maybe you're a teacher and you need to make some affordable classroom supplies, or maybe you're just looking for kind of some, maybe you want to try it and you want some cheap supplies you can do yourself. So I'm going to share this first thing with you because I just made this and used this today. I had some clay that needed to be wedged, and that's basically when you smoosh all the air out of your clay so it will be nice and uniform and it won't explode in the kiln. And I had a piece of wood because I don't have a plaster. Like I said, I'm just getting back into this hobby and I don't have all the bells and whistles. And I was wedging my clay on some wood, but it was picking up splinters. It was a piece of plywood, but it was just, I like the size of it. It's about, I don't know, 15 by 15 or so. So I got a piece of canvas and I wrapped the canvas around the wood and I just stapled it on the back, kind of like you'd stretch a canvas to paint on over stretcher bars. So basically what I did is I took the canvas, I can show you with the piece of canvas here. I took the piece of canvas, and obviously it was bigger than my board, and I would pull it on one side, pull it tight, staple it, pull it around the other side, pull it tight, staple it, then do the other two sides, and then I would just keep like going in between those staples until I had a nice firm, like smooth surface. And this is perfect for wedging. And the reason I'm using plywood is because it's kind of heavy and it's not going to move around too much. Now it does want to slide a little bit. So if you're a school teacher, maybe you're an art on a cart teacher, or you don't have a dedicated ceramics room, what you can do is actually make these boards up for your students. If you find they slide, or if you're worried about them scratching desks, you can put a piece of shelf liner under it. You can either use some double-sided tape to adhere it to it, or you could just put it down on their desks. It's not going to scratch your desks, and this is going to keep the mess at a minimum. So something else that's really handy when you are doing ceramics is having pieces of canvas. So I had a bunch of scrap canvas and I just hemmed it because canvas frays, so you'll want to hem it. But the reason this is really nice and the reason this is really nice is because your clay isn't going to really stick to it. And if your clay is sticking to it, you can just let it sit and let the moisture kind of absorb, and then you'll be able to peel it right up. So let's say you want to do some slab building. That's when you roll out the clay and then you like cut it into shapes. Maybe you make boxes, you could make all sorts of things with it. You could put your clay here or on just a canvas mat if you don't want to do the plywood thing. You put another canvas on top, and then you can roll over it with a rolling pin or a clay roller. And then it's easy to flip your clay over. It's easy to pick it up because then you can roll it right off the clay. And it's just wonderful for working. And again, it's great if you've got a big class and you need to outfit them cheaply. You can get a canvas drop cloth at any hardware store and cut it up for this purpose, so you don't have to go to the fabric store and buy a higher grade of canvas. You can also sometimes find canvas placemats at thrift stores, so that's a great option because then you don't need to hem it because it's already hemmed. You just want raw canvas, so you don't want like a canvas painting panel. You want something raw so it can kind of absorb some of the moisture from the clay and make it nice and workable. So if you're doing some work and you want to make some nice even slabs, another thing that you can find really cheaply this time of year are rulers. So what you want to do, you want to make sure to buy the exact same kind of ruler. I just had a bunch of random ones here, but like say, you go to Target and they're like 10 for $1 or whatever crazy price they have. What you would do is you would put your rulers on either side of your board. If you want a thicker piece, you could use 2 rulers. So I'd buy a bunch of these, especially if you're a teacher and you're getting these for students. Then you put your clay in the middle, you put another piece of fabric on top, and you'd roll over it, and that would give you a uniform thickness because your rolling pin is going to run on those rulers, and that will give you a nice even slab of clay. So that's another budget thing. You could also buy yardsticks and chop them up. If you are a woodworker or you have access to a bunch of wood, scraps, things like that, moldings that you have scraps of, you could use that. You could even go to a hardware store and buy molding that would be about that big and cut it down. But rulers are easy. They're great length, and you put them all in a jar when you're done. If you're an art on a cart teacher, it's going to work out really well. The next thing I want to show you is sponge on a stick. Very easy to make. All I did was I took an elastic. I can show you here. I took a piece of sponge that I cut up. I kind of cut off some of the sharp edges and snipped a little hole in there. Put on the end of a craft dowel. You can buy these, or you could buy longer dowels and cut them down. You could probably even use like a pencil or something. And then I am simply going to wrap this rubber band around it a couple times. And what you'd use this for is when you're making like a pot on the pottery wheel and you end up, you know, getting water on the inside. Generally, I'll just take a sponge and I'll stick it down in there and soak up the water. But if it's a tall mug, then you don't want to you don't want to bang your hands in there. So you can just kind of stick this down the middle, soak up the water, and you're good. So very inexpensive, easy to make. Another thing you can do is cut a thin cellulose sponge or whatever kind of sponge you have down, and you can wet that and you can use it to smooth out your clay after you're done working on either the wheel or even hand building. So yeah, lots of inexpensive things you can find around your home. I had a bunch of leftover canvas, so I just made a bunch of these so they'd be ready to go. And when they get too soggy to use, you just grab another one, let it dry out, kind of shake off the dust, and you're ready to go again. So very handy. This was a tip I learned from a potter that I studied under back, in the late 90s. And it was such a handy tip, and it always stuck with me. And then as I've started my ceramics journey, I decided I need to make some of these because they were just so darn handy. And then I came up with this when I was getting splinters in my clay from using just a piece of plywood. So I hope this helps you out. I hope you found this useful. And if you have any pottery and ceramics tips you want to share with me, because I'm a newbie, I'm a novice, let me know in the comments below. Sharing is caring, and you guys can read the comments and find really awesome tips from your friends here in the Frugal Crafter community. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you love Frugal Fridays, and I will see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye.